New York, otherwise known as the Big Apple, is known for being the birthplace of hip hop, bacon, egg, and cheese, the Yankees, and Nicki Minaj. New York City was forever immortalized when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys hit the imaginary third tower on October 20th, 2009 by releasing their explosive single, Empire State of Mind. In the song, Alicia calls New York a concrete jungle where dreams are made of, or how I like to call it, concrete jungle wet dream tomato. So today I'll be discussing what it's like living in New York from the perspective of someone who was procreated, born, and raised in the trenches while also ranking each of its boroughs. So New York is composed of 5 different regions: the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. But if you were to ask a real New Yorker how many boroughs there are, they'll just say 4 because most of us don't consider Staten Island to be a part of New York. If anything, they're like that one cousin in your family that nobody invites because of their poor life decisions and raging addiction. You can even make the argument that Staten Island doesn't even look like the rest of the boroughs. There are more single-family houses than there is apartments, meaning that majority of the borough looks like this rather than this. And every New Yorker knows that apartments is a quintessential staple of living in New York. And for that reason, I'm putting Staten Island at an E. The only reason I'm not giving them an F is because their biggest exports besides and the Italian Mafia is the Wu-Tang Clan. And who was in the Wu-Tang Clan? Old Dirty Bastard. Next up is Manhattan. Manhattan is like that rich cousin who has a high-paying job and immediately forgets that they're born in the Bronx. When you think about New York, people instantly think about Times Square, Fifth Avenue, Central Park, Wall Street, and the Statue of Libertad. So it's no wonder that Manhattan is seen as a poster boy of New York. Here's where tourists and terrorists like spending the majority of their time. But real New Yorkers know that the city offers jack. For example, you'll never see a New Yorker unironically go to Times Square unless they work there or if they're trying to buy. The reason being that Times Square is just a glorified hub of propaganda. You literally just go there to watch ads, crackheads, and people cosplaying as famous cartoon characters. The smell of ass, piss, and foot fungus plagues the city much like how matcha lattes plagues white people. It is statistically impossible to enter the city without getting a whiff of bacterial vaginosis. And for that reason, I'm putting Manhattan at a B. Why B? Because the subway system automatically deducts a point for it being so dog shit, it should be labeled as a crime against humanity. The Boogie Down Bronx is known for being the birthplace of hip-hop, Aventura, and YNs. Out of all the boroughs, the Bronx is seen as the most dangerous to live in because as soon as you enter from the city, it'll feel like you've been transported into a different world. The scenery becomes more grimier, much like how there's a yellow filter in Breaking Bad to signify that they're in Mexico. But instead of Mexico, we have Mott Haven, Melrose, and Concourse. And instead of cartels, we have YNs in shiesty masks yelling, "Yer, word to my dads, and suck my d." Aside from having zesty lingo, the Bronx has so many crackheads, it could honestly start their own sovereign nation. It's common to see and paraphernalia all over High Bridge and Grand Concourse, but not everything is grimy. We have the Yankee Stadium, the Bronx Zoo, and the New York Botanical Gardens. So after you're done sliding on your ops, you can go smell some roses and watch a couple of penguins chilling on an iceberg. And for that reason, I'm putting the Bronx at a C. Biggie once said that spreading love was the Brooklyn way, and that was 100% true. But somewhere between 2007 and 2026, that love got priced out and replaced with exposed brick and a $19 oat milk latte. Brooklyn is a beautiful contradiction. Half the borough is third-generation Caribbean families who will cook you a plate that could end wars, and the other half is a guy named Oliver who just moved from Ohio and calls Bed-Stuy up and coming, while paying $3,400 for a closet with a skylight. You've got drill rappers, Orthodox Jews, hipsters, and unlicensed dirt bike riders all sharing the same street like it's a social experiment gone wrong. Brooklyn has culture, music, art, and enough personality to make Manhattan feel like a LinkedIn profile. And for that reason, despite the gentrification jump scare every 3 blocks, I'm giving Brooklyn a solid A. Queens, on the other hand, is the most slept on borough and easily the most realistic. Queens doesn't need to flex, it just quietly does everything better. It's the most ethnically diverse place on earth, meaning you can eat Ecuadorian food for breakfast, halal for lunch, Korean barbecue for dinner, and still grab a slice at 3 a.m. without anyone batting an eye. Queens is where immigrants actually live, work, and mind their business. No tourists, no transplants, just vibes and Asian. The trains might take 45 minutes to get anywhere, but that's because Queens is massive and refuses to be rushed. It gave us Nas, Astoria Park sunsets, City Field, and neighborhoods that feel like entirely different countries depending on which block you're on. Queens doesn't try to be cool, it just naturally is. And for that reason, I'm putting Queens at a solid S tier because stability, phenomenal food, and not smelling like ass year round deserves respect. Besides, of course, the 7 train because that shit smells like straight fucking farts. But I digress. And with that being said, I'm out.